Group by is a very common operation that we do it in any data analytics project. You take Python, even in Python programming language, we have something called pandas package using which we do group by. Using group by, you can perform summarization or aggregation. I just write it here. So am I audible now? Is it okay? Yes, yeah, there was a loose connection with my thing. Okay, repair this thing. So that's what I was trying to tell you this. And so, it groups these similar rows and then it performs the aggregation. The aggregation could be sum function or average function and or min function, max function, something like that. So in this case, we have used a group by on the country column. And if you want to perform the group by on more than one column like country and region, so while it performs the aggregation, it takes into account of these two columns. And for example, United States and region. So since these two regions are same in United States, it does the aggregation for these two values. Since in this case, United States, we have only one value, West is existing across the rows, right? Only one row exists. It does this one. In this case, you don't need to do aggregation or consolidation. Here also the same thing, right? Since we have only one region available in the United States, so simply it puts the value here. Got it? So this is how we do the aggregation. So group values in various rows into single value by grouping the rows according to the values in one or same definition. Okay, I have mentioned in different way. Now I just go to the Power BI desktop and then let me just show you. Okay, I'm at to open Power BI desktop. So it will take some time to launch it. Let's wait for some time. In Power BI desktop, simply I'm going to load a data file called aggsales.csv. And that data will look something like this. Okay, not like this, something else. Okay, I just show you in the meanwhile we will explore the data set. This is the data set aggsales.csv. I just open it and I'll show you how the data looks like. So we have something called country ID column and we have region, quantity and sales. We have 4 columns are there. In country ID, we have US. US stands for United States and AU stands for Australia and GR stands for Germany. And another record which has the country ID G. Even in this case, the G stands for Germany. And AU, Australia, everything is fine. Only thing is that Germany, if you see here, two different name used for to represent the same country, which is actually wrong. And even for US, if you look here, all the majority of the US values are US country ID, but only this one, they mentioned wrongly USS. Okay. Maybe typing mistake, due to typing mistake, they mention like this. So if I ask you to find out the total sales, if I give this data set, what you will do is general, you will group all the rows that have the similar values. For example, if I ask you to do the group by on country ID, and US to take all the US records, and then in East, right, so we don't see the region, and you add all the values, okay, in 2500 plus 7623 plus 8764. But you need to add this one also, but you might be getting confused. What is USS? Is that US or USSR something? Now USSR is not there. Let's say, let's think that way, right? So yeah, you might get confused with this one. Ideally, you need to check with the customer if you find anything like this, like a G and GR. Are these two country IDs are similar? Are they two different things? For example, you have something called IND. IND stands for India, or it could be Indonesia also. Okay, so it is always the best practice that you go and check with your customers. Okay, so you can ask them, so is that correct, or are they represent two different country name? You need to check with them. So if they say no, it's you, everything is same, but this is a typo, you can correct it. So you can simply go and replace the USS by US. In this case, hardly we have 12 records. If you have 5 million or 25 million records are there in a file, do you think practically you can go and check each and every value in this column and each and every column? Can you do it? No, right? So you can randomly check it out. Okay, you can randomly, but still there could be chances that due to huge volume of records, you might tend to forget, or you might tend to notice similar values in other rows, right? You might tend to mistakenly, you might tend to ignore these kind of things. So in that case, what will happen is all the USS will be grouped, and USS will be grouped separately. So if in that case, what will happen is your report will show wrong output. So all the actually, to find out the total sales in US, we need to add four values, right? So these four values, this value and this value and this value, right? And including this one. Only when you add these four values, you can tell them this is the total sales we made in USA. But since the naming convention is wrong here, only 3 US records will get grouped, and this one will be grouped separately. In that case, we are going to downplay the US sales performance. You have, right? So if you include this value also, along with the other 3 rows, it will give a decent number, right? So otherwise, what will happen is, because of these data entry issues, right? Data typing issues, something like that. So in that case, what will happen is it will downplay your sales performance rather than showing the correct value, and it will show no, in US it is not doing good job, right? So in that case, first you need to address the data related issues. Like I said, even if you have a data that is not sufficient, your data should be consistent, and it should not have duplicate values. For example, if the same value, same row repeats one more time here, then there could be some kind of duplicate, or it may not be duplicate. In that case, again, you need to go back to the customer and ask them, hey, we could see a duplicate. Is that a duplicate, or is that a similar transaction? If they say no, it is a duplicate, you will have to remove them. So having a data itself not sufficient to display the accurate values in your report, your data quality should be good. In case of any data related issues like this, you need to fix it in conjunction with or in consultation with your US customers or UK customers. Okay. Fine. So now I just go back and see what the status. So what has happened here, whether it has opened. Okay. At last it opened. The Power BI desktop now is still going on. So with this data, we could understood there are some data inconsistency related issues are there, like a G everywhere. See, if you mention GR, everywhere you mention consistently GR for Germany, or if you mention GE to represent Germany country, everywhere you mention G. Don't give different name for the same country like this. But in real time scenario, we might tend to get these kind of data only. It's still opening. We have to have patience. I think I should have opened this Power BI desktop before this session. Let me close my Python and all. I opened the Jupyter notebook. What else we have? Yeah, let me close this one also now. This data file. Sometimes even Excel takes longer time. Let me check why it takes this much of time. Let's go to the task manager and check it out. It says my PowerPoint. Enterprise gateway. Oh, let me better close the PowerPoint. Because of PowerPoint, the CPU consumption is more. Even after that, it is hanging like anything. So that's why in the C drive, make sure that you have sufficient space. Okay, and at any point in time, if you experience any slowdown or something like that, you go to your C drive and make sure that you keep at least 100 GB or 150 GB free space. It is quite weird. I don't know why it takes this much of time. Usually it will not take this much of time. Zoom is taking too much of CPU. Something wrong with this Zoom app. These guys are making changes every now and then Zoom, and it is slowing down like anything. WebView 2. Okay, at last it opened. So I got a welcome screen. I'm going to click on this cross. Oh my God. So what happened? WebView. Oh, I clicked on WebView. WebView is initiated automatically. I thought it was something irrelevant. I just passed this one, otherwise it'll unnecessarily error. So I just close this one. Okay, the next one is I just click on the get data and I have a CSV file, agg sales.csv. Look here. So all these files are available in my website. Okay, and even GitHub, it is all available. Simply you need to go and search it, that's all. I just loaded this file, .csv file into my Power BI desktop. Look here, I can see the preview window and click on load. It's being loaded here. Okay, it got loaded here successfully, good. And I just go to the data view and I'll show you what records we have it. Already we have seen this data set in my CSV file. I just opened and showed you a while back. The same thing, it'll be visible here. Let's wait for some time. Look here, and US G, R, and G. For Germany, two different naming convention used. Okay, it is actually wrong. And USS, it is there. Let it be there. I just click on the home ribbon and I go to the Power Query Editor. Transform data. When I click on the transform data, it will take me to the Power Query Editor. This is where we are going to do the group by. Okay. Okay, now we are right here in the Power Query Editor. I just click on the transform and I can see something like group by icon here. Okay, this is your group by icon. 1 second, somebody's. This is my group by icon. With this, I can do group by. Okay, I can group the records. So I just click on the group by. It will open up a window, something like this. And here you can see the columns here, the basic, all the columns, country ID, region, quantity sales, right? So I want to group by on country ID. So hence I'm going to leave it as it is because the first value and this thing got selected. The first value is this column, country ID. You have two different options, basic, advanced. We will explore advanced little later. And I'm going to give a meaningful column name. Here I say total sales. We have another option like the operation. What kind of aggregation that you want? You want to find out the sum of sales, average sales, or median, min, max. You know, this thing. I'm going to select some column name. Which column you want to sum it? What is the new column name and which column you want to sum it? What operation that you want to perform it? Which column you want it as a basis to do the group by? That is what it says. Okay. And here I want to group by on sum of sales. Country ID. I want to group all the countries. So end of the day, I need to have only four countries: US, Germany, and Australia and New Zealand. Okay, only four records should be there. And then for those four countries, what is the total sales needs to be counted. Okay, that is what this is going to do it. Now I just click on OK here. Look here, it did a fantastic job. US 1887, Australia, but Germany and US, it consider these two records as a separate records, right? Ideally, this value should have taken into account while doing the summary as part of this US group itself. Since the name was wrongly given for US, right? Two different names were given. it considers these two are two different records. Similarly, Germany and GU. So how can I fix this one? So in Power BI Cloud Service, I'll show you that one also. It is pretty simple. We have something called fuzzy matching. We have something called fuzzy matching. I just closed my PowerPoint. Let me just. Good. We have something called fuzzy matching. Can you see it here? So this is what fuzzy matching. So I'll explain you the idea behind fuzzy matching. With fuzzy matching, even though you have some typo or inconsistent values stored in a column, right? You can still, we combine these two relevant records, okay? Records into single record, G or G, somewhat similar, using fuzzy matching. It does the matching, okay? First two letters are somewhat similar. Hence, maybe these two values are similar. Likewise, it does the matching, and then it considers these two as a single record. That is possible only in Power BI Cloud Service. With Power BI Desktop, we cannot do anything. The only way is manually we need to go and replace it. For example, look here. This is my grouped rows, and if you see on the last step in the applied steps, right? In the applied step, the last step was group rows. That's what we did. Grouped rows using group by here, right? So using group by, we did this. Now what I do is I just undo it. Okay, don't do group by. I just revoked it. Okay, now I got back the original data set. Here what I do is the only way out is, in this case, you need to replace the USS by, you can fix the data issues, with the replace, something like that, okay? And GR and G. For example, I don't want to have something like GR. G, let replace the GR by GE. That's why we don't have any other values here, right? So everything is consistent now. So now if you go and do group by, it really makes sense. Sum of sales, okay, not country ID, sum of sales. And if I give okay here, look here, only 4 records are there. Earlier, we were having 6 records, one for GR, other one was USS. Now all the US related records got grouped together into a single record, and it did the total sales sum, right? So you can see that. Very good. So now we have another option. I just revoke this one. I just want to go back to the previous stage. I want to get back to my previous data. Okay, this is my data. So what I do is I just click on group by. I just select the country ID, group by, and here the same thing. Sales, okay, and here I just select advanced, so that you can add one more aggregation, okay, total quantity, sum of you can do, and you can do aggregation for more than one column. So sales column, quantity column, and we have something else called not rows, all rows. I have something called all rows, but when you select all rows, you will not find anything. This one will get disabled. Okay, I'll show you what exactly all rows, but before that I will remove this one also. Okay, I just click on OK here. Same thing. In US, what is the total sales? In each country, what is the total sales? We are able to get it correctly. And along with this, we can see something called total rows, right? It's a table. And if you see here, there is an icon here, right? So the double arrow icon. And if I click on this one, it shows everything like this. So what I do is I just click here, somewhere here. Okay. So that I can get the breakup. Let's say when the management, when they see the total sales here, they wanted to, find out the relevant transactions. In this case, if you click on it next to the table here, it will show in US, the breakup for 23,130, you can see the breakup. In US East region, we made this much. And in US East region, we made this much, North region. So with this, we can easily make out the more contribution came from East region in USA, right? So you can be, so by displaying the detailed itemized transaction detail along with the aggregated value using this feature, we can, it's something like a drill down, right? So it, if you, this kind of a drill up, and if you want to drill down, right? So you can use this option, total rows. With this, you can do drill down. So with drill down, you can see in USA, what are the how many number of transactions? We made 4 transactions. In which region the sales contribution is more, and which region sales contribution less, everything you can do it here. And similarly, when I click on this one here, the Australia, it will show you. Australia, we have 3 records are there. Okay, fine. Next, the Germany. Okay. And finally, if you want to see the detailed records for each and everything, you can click it somewhere here so that you will get to know that. Okay. You have created the group by now. Okay. And then after creating the group by on the country ID column with the sum on total sum on sales, right? We are getting this. So along with this, see, after doing the group by, you realize that, so you wanted to include the total quantity also here. So again, you don't have to click on group by, and again, you don't have to do that, redo the same thing. Instead, what you do is, you can see group rows here, right? And just next to that, you will find the wheel kind of icon, the wheel icon. Just click on it. It will open up the same thing again here. And then what to do is add aggregation, so that you don't have to redo the same thing again and again. Okay, total quantity. So in this case, sum of quantity. Okay, and click on OK. That's it. You can drag and drop the column here. Okay, probably if you think, right, you want to make this one. One second, let me just select something. Okay, let me just move this somewhere here. Now total quantity, we displayed it just before the total sales. So now you are able to get the total quantity by each country along with the total sales. And if you want to see the itemized total, you can see it here. So in quantity, we told 2. So 2 plus 6, 8, 8 plus 10, 18. Look here, that is what made up 18, right? So these are the 4 transactions which made up the total quantity 18. Got it? It is that much simple, very simple one. But only thing is here we did, they replace the value, right? So what value GR, we replaced GR by G, and one more time we did the replace, and we have replaced USS by US. So now what I do is, okay, we are done with this. I'm going to leave it as it is. I just click on File, Close and Apply. That's it, right? So it will take some time. So we are getting the aggregated sales, right? This is what you needed. If you want, you can have it like this. So next, I just save it as AGG sales. And then I just get into the Power BI desktop, sorry, Power BI cloud service, app.powerbi.com. This is the Power BI cloud service, app.powerbi.com. So if you have Office ID, email ID, you can go ahead and create a user ID here, okay? And create a user ID. You will get 60 days trial access, okay? So on the cloud service. And here, okay, this is my Power BI cloud service. Look here, this is my workspace. So on the right side, what you are saying is the workspace. I just click on it. This is like your Windows folder. And I just want to, okay, I just want to create a new folder, or instead of saying folder, we call it as a workspace. Okay. New folder name. Okay. And it's nothing but for space here, and click on save. A new workspace will get created. Look at dev sandbox 5, which means it's something like your new folder in your Windows. So next what I do is I click on new, and here I can see something like a data flow. So what I'm trying to do now is I want to do the same group by operation on Power BI Cloud Service. Okay. And the first step is you need to create a workspace, or if you have any workspace already created, you select the workspace. When you click on the workspace name, it'll your screen will look like this. Click on new, and you need to hit the data flow. So now we are going to create a data flow. What is a data flow? Data flow is something like the Power Query editor on cloud. See, this is my Power BI desktop. If I want to go to the Power Query editor, click on the transform data. This is my Power Query editor. So this Power Query editor got opened in my local laptop. The same Power Query editor, if I want to open it on Power Query editor, that is where we have something called the workflow is coming into picture. So in this workflow, I just add new tables. I'm going to use the cloud service to read the data from my local laptop. Look here, the file type is text CSV. And then I'm going to say d:\dat1. This is my Windows folder. Okay, and agg sales.csv. So what I'm telling the Power BI Cloud Service, hey, in my Windows, there is a folder called d:\dat1. In that folder, this is the file. You need to go and read it from the cloud to my local laptop. So connection here, create new connection. Okay, this is something like, okay, so this is something new here. Okay, agg sales.csv connection name. And this is the data gateway. So you need to install the gateway. Only then you can read your laptop file from the Power BI Cloud. So how do I install the gateway? I will let you know a little later. Let's not mix up everything. So, okay, I already installed the gateway, and that gateway is running in my Power BI in my local system. Okay, Windows, and I don't have to do any changes here. Simply, I just say here, here, welcome. And when you click on next, if you don't have any error, it will take you to the next page, and then from the cloud, it will read the data of this file from your local laptop. So what happened? I think something wrong here. Link to file, invalid credentials. Region India, session ID, region India. Okay, there is some credentials issue. Okay, here let me just check my username and password in my Windows. Welcome. Okay, this is a welcome is my username. So here I mentioned welcome only, right? Yeah, correct. Oh, okay. Here, welcome. Here you need to specify the password. I mentioned the password here itself. Okay. If it takes longer time, then something wrong, but it is good. Now it connected to my, it connected to the Power Query editor on cloud. Okay, this is your progress. So this is the data, right? So this is the data file. This is the data were available in my local laptop, but the same data was read and loaded into the Power BI cloud. Now that my data got loaded into Power BI cloud, it is not in my local system now. It is still that file is there, but the data got loaded into Power BI cloud service. Okay, these are available on the website. Okay, and the next one is I just click on transform data. The moment when I click the transform data, you can see this one transform, right? This is my Power Query editor on cloud. Okay, and here you have option called group by. So you can see this one. This is something like the view. Okay, and I just click on group by here and the country ID. Same thing. Total sales. So now it is doing the perfect job. Look here, in US 1887, but same issue, US, USS. So these two country ID still it considers a separate thing. Actually, these two records are similar. Okay, but it is not doing the proper thing. It is not consolidating, these two things correctly. So what I am going to do is I just move this up a little bit. If you want to see the data, you click on show data, it will show. And diagram view, I just want to close the diagram view. I don't need that one now. And I just do the group by one more time. Okay, I just cancel it. Okay, and then, sorry, I mistakenly I came here. Okay. I should have clicked it there itself. D colon that one AGG sales dot, it's already available. Premises and deep neuron gateway, edit connection. You're welcome. And click on next. I'm redoing the same thing. Mistakenly, I clicked the escape thing. That's why it came out. Okay, the next one is the transform data. Here, I just go to the transform and group by. Click on group by. And here, total sales. Sum on sales. And the next one is, look here. This option is available only on cloud. Use fuzzy grouping. Okay. And I just select this one. And then I'm going to expand this one. And you have something called similarity threshold. Okay, 0.8. So you will find something like this. Okay. And see, the idea of this fuzzy grouping is do a group by operation, which uses an approximate match algorithm for text strings. Okay. So the Power Query uses something called Jacquard similarity. What is that? Jacquard similarity. You have something called Jacquard similarity. So the Power Query uses the Jacquard similarity algorithm to measure the similarity between pairs of instances. Okay, and then it applies agglomerative hierarchical clustering to group instances together. So this is something related to machine learning or artificial intelligence. You forget about that one. So the same algorithm, whatever we use it there to find out the distance, right? In machine learning or artificial intelligence, the same feature they introduced it here. Anyhow, you don't have to write a Jacquard similarity related formula, nothing. Okay, just if you understand which algorithm it uses to do the similarity, okay, the fuzzy group. Okay, so here what I do is I just reduce this one 0.68 or 0.71, something like that. So what happens is similarity threshold. So basically you just think this way. And if I ask you to find out if you ask you to manually group all the values exactly like US, obviously group these three records, right? US, US, US. And if I ask you something like, hey, group the records, similar records, or group rows that have similar values, somewhat similar values. So what will you do? US, US, US. This is all somewhat similar, right? And you will include it's something like somewhat similar match. It does this one, okay? So I'm going to reduce the similarity threshold. If I maximize, if I increase it, no, it's very strict. Okay, we are going to be very stringent. Consider, the exact match. No, somewhat similar match. No, somewhat similar match. Okay, if you increase the threshold more, exact match. If you reduce it, it's something like somewhat similar. Okay, I just click on OK now. Let's see what happens. We need to have only 4 records in total. Look here, it did a fantastic job. The USS also considered as a US. It did something like somewhat similar match. Group all the rows which have the somewhat similar match. That is the advantage of fuzzy grouping. You understood how the fuzzy grouping works, right? Behind the scene, it uses an algorithm called Jaccard similarity, using which it finds out the similarity between the pairs of instances. Okay, and uses something kind of grouping, clustering technique to group the instances together. Okay, and here you can see that the US is 231. See, in this case, these values are similar to matching with this one, right? But here, if you go and see the original thing, right? Original thing got overwritten something like this, US easy, because we did some kind of replaced value here. GR replaced by G in my Power BI desktop in my laptop. Okay, and here also I did the same thing. Look here. I replace the USS by US. Okay. But whereas did I do any replace here? On cloud, nothing, right? I simply use the fuzzy grouping. I selected fuzzy grouping. It took care of it automatically. But when I increased the threshold, it was not able to group it correctly. But when I reduced the threshold, it became something like somewhat similar match, right? It grouped US and USS also into a single record, and G and GR, it considers that, the single record GR. Look here, it did a fantastic job. So if you have millions and millions of records, this option is, really useful, but it finds out some kind of matching, right? Hence, the performance will not be that good. It will be very slow. But end of the day, you need accurate data, right? So you can leverage this kind of features, fuzzy matching. Hope you understood the difference between the grouping and fuzzy grouping. Fuzzy grouping option is available on Power BI Cloud Services only. It is not available in my Power BI desktop. Maybe in the future version, they might introduce the fuzzy grouping in the Power BI desktop also. Since Power BI desktop is a free license, right? You will not get all the features, advanced features. Okay, and here, right, so hope you understood the difference between these two. And here, instead of calling it as a Power Query editor, we call it a workflow, right? So what is workflow? Workflow is something like a reusable component. Once you develop a reusable component in Power BI Cloud Service, like Power Query, right? Power Query on cloud service, you can reuse the same transformation in your local system also later point. You can import the workflow into your Power BI desktop also. Fine. So now I just go ahead and click on save and close because I don't want to lose this one. Save your workflow. Okay. And here sales by country ID. So you can give some description also here to demonstrate. Say grouping. Something like some meaningful name. That's all. Success. Your workflow has been saved. To keep your data up to date, you need to set a refresh schedule. So you can also, for example, later point in time, if I had some records in that Excel file, aggsales.csv in my Windows laptop, so I can go and insert it. But whatever the changes that I made it, how will the cloud get to know? So hence you need to do some kind of configuration to refresh the data. As and when you add any new data in your aggsales.csv file, look here. As and when you add new values here, the new values, how will the cloud will get to know, right? So you need to set up some kind of refreshing it. Okay, so the refresh will takes care of the the newly insert data into your aggsales.csv and then push it to your cloud. Okay, push it to your, where is my cloud? This is my cloud. Look here, it is already I created aggsales, and we can see country ID, total sales. This is the final output, right? We can see it here. When you click on the edit table, it will take you back to this one. Oh, you can go and make changes to this one also. Okay, fine. Yeah. So hope you understood how to create group by, how to perform group by, and how to perform the fuzzy grouping on cloud. And I have also demonstrated how to create a group by on a single column and more than one column. You have not seen it, right? Yeah, I will show you the more than one column. 1 second. So you don't have to sweat too much. Let me do one thing. Okay, I'm here. Look here. If you think you missed out something, you can go back the thing here. Okay, in the grouped rows, right? You just click on the grouped rows and just click on the icon, the wheel, right? Wheel icon. When you click on it, you can make changes to it. Okay, and you don't have to retype everything. Click on add grouping. Here I just select region. Okay, that's all. So if I select okay, what will happen is, see, US South region, US and South region is considered separate one. US and North region is separate one, and US East. All these three countries, regions, we could see a unique value. And Australia East and West. See, East it considers separate value. West is considered Germany, G something, right? So New Zealand, East West. Okay, most of them are unique. We don't see any duplicate values of country in region. Okay. Supposing you have a record like US, yes is all, one more record is available, and if that value is little bit different, so that US, yes South and US South, these two values would have been aggregated. Similarly, for the quantity, the same thing would have happened. This is how you can do group by on more than one column also. Just now I demonstrated how to perform group by with the combination of country ID and region. Got it? So that's all. That is pretty much about it. So today you just practice this one. Okay, aggsales. I will share this file right after this session. I have some production related issues are there. Okay, I have some continuous calls coming from office. What we'll do is tomorrow we'll spend some more time to compensate this. Okay, and tomorrow join this session on time, like how you all joined today. So we'll continue tomorrow with the Power Query parameter, and then we will jump into the data modeling part tomorrow itself. Any questions so far? All right, since you don't have any questions, I'm going to wrap up the session. We'll share the today's session's video shortly, and also this file, I will share it to you all. And the data file is already available in my website. I hope all of you download that file, right? You can find the aggsales.csv. And I'm going to wrap up the session now. Okay.